Good evening, folks. If you are watching after the fact, then please do feel free to skip ahead to qualifying as we get the rest of the lobby into the session and the stream shared out to where it needs to be. It's almost time for APPF1 Elite. Do not go anywhere.
Expecting a tricky session ahead. This is a challenging, twisty track with very little rest between corners. In fact, some say this.
Good evening, folks, and welcome back to APPF1 Elite for tonight's dose of racing action. My name is Sumo, and I shall be your commentator, bringing you all of the on-track action the only way that I know how, with as much excitement and enthusiasm as I can muster. It is round number 7 of the Elite season, and we find ourselves back in Europe for a race at the Hungaroring in Hungary. 4.381 kilometres of racetrack with 14 corners make up one of the most technical tracks on the calendar, where the only real overtaking opportunity comes from the DRS straight all the way down to turn number 1. However, our drivers here in APPF1 Elite will prove me wrong, as they so often do. Hello everyone. It's good to be back. I wasn't expecting to be in the comms box this Sunday. Normally I'm busy off fighting dragons and exploring dungeons, but this evening I'm in the comms box for all of you guys out here, and I'm sure the Elite drivers are very, very happy as well. Let's have that on as well, because I like it on for qualifying. And let's have... something's weird here. I don't know what's weird. There we go. I want fastest lap on because it's qualifying. There we go. Let me just send my stream out to one more place. There we go. Just in case anybody wants to watch it, and then I should be ready. Right. Let us find lead driver. That would be Tyr. Right now in the McLaren, although that's about to be Rick in the Ferrari. And let me run you through then the stats, and then I'll get back to you lovely people in the chat as well. Well, I say the stats, the standings. Red Flame Joe, 109 points for the Aston Martin driver. He leads the way, 7 points ahead of Marcus. Both drivers out on track today, so they'll be up for their battle once again. No Jordan Larser, but he sits P3 in the standings, with Finley just 2 points behind him. Then there's Ghost on 58 points after some torrid moments in Elite. Can he claw anything back today? Jackalacco, 50 points. Lewis AP on 41, tied with Aces vs Kings Rick and Skid Solo, making up the rest of the top 10. Reshka, 33 points. Kevin O'Reilly on 24. Speed Alcoholic, 23. Yasko Kirill on 18 points. Robert, who is now a full-time driver for Mercedes, 14 points, with Yaram the reserve on 16. AP Palfs on 7 points, with MCL the reserve on 6. Then there's RJ tied on with him, and then Daphne Hillis as well. And speaking of AP Palfs, alongside the founder of APPF1 is his long-time teammate Davila. Both drivers back out on the circuit once again. I guess their debut as a team once again here in Elite, and it's very, very exciting stuff. I hope that people will be rooting for him. Get the line off and take a seat, Sumo. Look, I can barely finish a tier 2 race at the moment. I doubt I can do anything with line. Rick sets the pace though, 17.3. Let's see, tier an 18.3. How about Ghost? What's he got underneath him? Only an 23.1. He's had an awful lap there. Jackalacco is 17.2. Not a bad lap. How about Skid Solo as well? Let's see what he's got underneath him. He's on an outlap, so he's not got anything right now. That's his short Marcus. How about Davila coming around the final corner? The Welshman all the way on the exit. That looked fairly tidy from the Welshman. 18.1. Not a bad lap at all. How about Lewis AP in the Williams? A 16.1. That's a fantastic run for him. AP Pals up into P2 for a 16.9. Oh, they're back. They're back and at the front. And then Red Flame Joe, 15.4. Oh, this qualifying session, I think there's definitely more to the story than what has just been laid before us, everyone. Let's see, Skid Solo will be the next to make a lap. Let's see, not a fan of this track. Bring back Monaco. I was enjoying that. Yeah, hello AD in the chat. How are we doing? Oh, that's Alex. Hello, hello, hello. Thanks for hopping in. I don't mind Hungary, you know. I enjoyed it. I enjoyed it on previous F1 games. I had some good races at Hungary, actually, on previous F1 games. Yet to do any practice for Tier 2. That'll be tomorrow. But I'm sure I'll enjoy it. Let's see, skid solo round the final corner in the Aston Martin. Where's that placing in? P8, not a bad go of it for him. Short Marcus, challenger in the championship so far, P2. Currently in this qualifying session, about 6/10 off of his rival Red Flame Joe, who's stopped out on track. I think to let somebody through. No worries there. How about Finley then? He was on pole with an absolute belter of a lap in Tier 1. What can he manage? He's got 2 more corners to navigate in his leopard print helmet and his red and black Alfa Romeo coming round the final corner. Turn number 14 can be tricky getting on the power. Let's see what Finley's got behind him though. It's a 15.4, only a few hundredths of a second ahead of Red Flame Joe. We've got a qualifying session on our hands here, folks. My oh my. Ghost on another lap. I think he did a second out lap. He must have done. So let's see what he's got behind him in that Ferrari. Round one more corner. Car number 72. Can he break into that top 5? Let us see. As he crosses the line, P6 narrowly misses out from AP of all people. Not a bad run. Kevin O'Reilly up there into P number 3 with a 16.001. Not a bad lap at all. Let's see who else is out. Scotty here is about to start a lap. Tier is not on a lap. So let's ride on board with Scotty then, of ESRL fame, of course, as he comes around the final corner to start his first lap. Let's walk you through a lap around the Hungaroring then. Long straight all the way down towards turn number 1 with DRS activated, braking around the 100-meter board. Really got to focus on that exit. It's a wide circuit on the exit there. Little bit of a slide from Scotty, but he's going to come down towards turn number 2. Hard on the braking zone for elite drivers here as he comes around. Could have been a bit scrappy from Scotty. Through turn number 3, a quick flick to the right and then back up the hill for a very, very quick flick to the left. Be as committed as you like. Don't want it out wide though. One of the places to pick up a track limits warning. And then through turn number 5, decent exit. No, could have been tighter. Then through this chicane here and to the next second sector. The Alpine gets out of the way just ahead of him as well, although it may have been a Williams. I didn't quite see, but through the twists of sector number 2, little lift to get through this corner. You can take it flat if you're brave enough. Then braking around the 50-meter board into turn number 12. 2 more corners now to navigate. Very similar in nature, although I think turn 14 is a little bit of a tighter one, or a little bit of a wider one, I should say, coming through. Very similar to the Nürburgring's final corner of that GP layout, but down towards the line comes Scotty. Is P6 just between Lewis and APPF1. Lewis, in the meantime, has somehow got up to P5. I know it must have been Kevin O'Reilly that's displaced my order here, so don't listen to me. I clearly don't know what I'm talking about. Let's see, who else is out on a lap? AP's on an out lap right now. Lewis AP, out lap. Red Flame Joe on an out lap. Skid Solo's on a lap right now. Let's see what he's got. Big gains from Scotty. Yes, P6. He'll be looking to try and go a bit further than that. There's about a second or so in it, really, between P1 and P6. Has anybody got anything else underneath him? Here comes Scotty, though, in the Aston Martin through sector 3, comprised of only 3 corners. Is this sector? I'm trying to figure the sector 3 with the least amount of corners. You could say Brazil, I guess. I don't know, if anybody knows, let me know. Skid Solo, though, starting a new lap, so I think here, how about Jacko in the Haas? Yes, he is on a lap. He's a 1/10 of a second up. Oh, that won't help him, though, as he loses it, and he loses all that time he gained. Davila crosses the line. Only P11 for the Welshman. How about Rick, the Dutchman, on another outlap? So we'll see what pace he's got. Tears on an outlap, and I think Red Flame Joe is about to treat us. He's up by a 1/10. This could be good enough for provisional pole position for car number 5. The same number of Sebastian Vettel, a 4-time world champion. Red Flame Joe looking to be a champion, and he does go that little bit faster than Finley in the Alfa Romeo. Not a bad lap at all. Ghost is on an outlap. AP Poufs, I think, no, is invalidated. He'll be going around again. Skid Solo, meanwhile, 8/10 down on his previous. No improvement there for the Aston Martin driver. Let's see who else is out on track. How about Lewis AP? Looking fairly quick. Let's see where this lap is going to place him as he comes around the last 2 corners. Yeah, maybe Japan Sector 3. I say Brazil because there's only one real corner. Let's see, Lewis in the Williams into the 15.8s, 4/10 away from the top 2 there in this 2-horse race of a championship that we have. Let us see who else is out on circuit. Here's Rick into the pits. Who's that behind him? Tier making his way around. Is this a lap or is this a second out lap for the British driver? Let us see. He's coming round the final corner now. What has he got underneath him in that McLaren? Not enough to improve, sadly. I should have looked at the time. A short Marcus now up into P3. Ghost, 1.7 seconds down on his previous. Will he peel into the pit lane? No, he's going to go out again. Okay. AP Paufs through Sector 3 now. Didn't quite see where he's improved, but he's in the fight. He's in the mix. If he can find a few more tenths, maybe he can get close, but he's peeling into the pit lane. He's going to go again. His car, number 42. I must say, it's very, very nice to have AP and Dave back out. Obviously, founding members of APPF1, whom without a lot of us wouldn't be here. What are the odds that one can just join and jump in? I'm pretty sure you can get in MX as long as you've got your line off and everything. I'll send you an invite and let's see. Invite some requests. Blah, 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 blah. I'll be very, very quick. That's not what I'm looking for, actually. Can I even invite friends? I don't think I can. There we go. For some reason, I've got crossplay on, and I shouldn't. MX, I can't find you. You're going to have to get somebody else to send you an invite, I think. I can't be wasting too much time sending out invites. So if you want in, try and get somebody like Rick to get you in. As I am midstream and can't find you because I didn't turn off crossplay when I should have done the other day. But never mind, eh? Let's see. Ghost, I think he just set the lap time of the 16.0, putting him up to P6. Scotty out there, not taking the greatest racing line through the chicanes there. But I'm sure he's got something beneath him. How about Skid Solo? He's up 3/10. Doesn't improve his position, but improves his lap time at the very least. How about Davila then? Let's ride on board with the Welshman. I think the only driver out on a lap right now. He's got the track all to himself while the other drivers are out. Is he going to be on a fast lap? Yes, he is. You can see that ERS depleted. Let's ride along with Davila then on his, I think, 3rd lap or 2nd lap of the session. Let's see, through turn number 3 he goes up towards turn number 4 toward the sector 1 line. He's a 10th up already, so this season progressing his position right now, nice and tight there. Just a little clip of that curb, don't get too much on it, otherwise you might go spinning around here at the Hungary, you never know. Nice and smooth through there, maybe could have been a bit more committed through the chicane, but then getting through the twists a bit too wide for Davila. That could lose him some time. Let's see. Kevin O'Reilly tried to invite you, don't have you added, sorry, unfortunate for MX. Still a 10th up though for Davila. Through the final couple of corners now comes the Red Bull. Can he try and improve that lap time? He'll be looking to break into the top 10 with this lap. Let's go. One more corner, no, into the pits, and oh, he's actually overshot that a bit. That's a bit embarrassing for Dave, but it happens to the best of us. AP's out there as well. Sumo and his commentary goated once again. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I'm glad you guys enjoy so much. Right, AP then. Can he improve, or his teammate did not on his previous attempt? I think Dave might get one more go at it if he can slam his way back toward the pit lane as quickly as possible. AP In towards turn 1. Let's see what he's got. Going through the first corner, looked fairly tidy on the exit. Maybe could have carried a bit more speed in it. But let's see as he comes through towards turn 2. That looked fairly put together. Carries some nice momentum as he comes down the hill through turn number 3. Then starts to climb back up towards turn 4. How brave is AP going to be? That's fairly brave. Oh, nice and on the limit there from the Red Bull driver. Not a bad go. Round turn 5. Oh, when he loses it, takes out the 150 metre board for good measure as well. And I think that might be that lap aborted for the league founder. That's a shame. He'll collect that again, put the battery back onto low, and he'll go around one more time. I'd have thought Dave's made it back to the pit lane while we've been speaking. And it's back in tier with the... Actually, that's quite a nice iteration of the default helmet. I'll give it a bit more than a 5 as he goes over the barriers there for good measure. Over the curbs there, I should say. For good measure. That's going to be that lap aborted. Let's see. AP, once again. Right on board with him. As he goes around for one more go at this Hungarian. Can he improve his lap time? P8 and P11 not too bad for returning, I will say, so far. If Dave can get back out, he's got mere seconds to do it. I don't think he's going to have time, though, to set a lap. And if he doesn't get out now, then it's game over for lap times for the Welshman. So it'll be that 1 minute 17.3 that will see him through the session. Oh, didn't mean to cut away to Scotty here there. Let's see. AP up by a 10th. He's got to find a bit more than that if he wants to improve his position. Let's see. That's a better exit from the league founder through the chicane we go. That was fairly tidy. Again, could have been a bit more committed through there, but not a bad go. Through the twists and turns of Sector 2 now. And it is nice and tight, the line through there. Looks fairly decent. Uses a decent amount of curb coming down the hill in towards Sector 3. Didn't see the time as he's come across the Sector 3 line. He's going to come up to a little bit of traffic now, but he shouldn't get too hindered by that. He may even get a slight toe on that short run to the line, or perhaps just a bit of turbulent air ahead of him. Let's see. Down towards the line he comes. AP Paths, only a 2/10 improvement. Doesn't see him improve his position on the grid. This man might do though. 3/10 improved on his previous attempt. He's lost all that time. He didn't improve the lap time. A huge shame for Scotty here. The checkered flag is almost going to be waved. It's being waved now. I can't speak this evening, my word. Let's see, Rick's invalidated. Ghost spins it across the line. I think he just got the lap time in. Maybe no, the line's there. Oh, commiserations for Ghost. He binned it at the final corner. 3/10 up goes Jackalacko. Doesn't improve the lap time. Oh dear. He'll be getting some grief for that on the next podcast, I'd imagine. As Lewis AP comes around into the pits, he can't improve his lap time. How about Kevin O'Reilly rocking that Lewis Hamilton helmet? No, he's not on a lap. Finley, he's retired. Has Red Flame Joe got anything in him? I think he's backed off. Yeah, he's not on a lap. He is definitely not on a lap. Is anybody out there putting in a competitive lap time? Marcus is not. That is it. That is qualifying then. And by about 200ths of a second, Finley has lost out to Red Flame Joe, where he was rapid in Tier 1. He has failed to get it on pole position, but he will start on the front row, and Finley will be the block in the road between Red Flame Joe and Short Marcus this evening, as they continue their championship campaign to see who can claim the Tier 1 Elite Trophy. And looks like MX made it in to the session eventually as well. So we've got 14 cars on the grid for this race here at the Hungary. Looking forward to it. Little update from the paddock quickly. It looks like APPF1 might be getting himself a penalty from the stewards, possible blocking. Although somebody else with a blocking penalty is Scotty here. 5-place grid penalty for him. Anyway, Red Flame Joe is your man on pole position, then lining up alongside Finley, who takes position number 2 by just under 0.02 of a second. Short Marcus and Lewis AP make up row number 2, with Kevin O'Reilly and Ghost on row 3. Scotty and AP Paths, our league founder, on row 4, with Jacko and Rick making up the top 10. Davila, Tier, Skid Solo and MX make up the rest of the grid, with what Kevin Riley says to be what a grid in the chat there. It'll be interesting to see Rick. I'm sure he'll be fighting though. We'll see. He's had a bit of a torrid time. Both the Ferraris have had a bit of a rough one in Elite at the moment. But there, our pit limiters glitched. It's always showing red. I'm getting a penalty. Oh, what? Oh dear. You could probably get that removed, Marcus, in the stewards. I think there'll be grounds to remove that. But if the game might end up making you serve it though. That's rough. Endeavour to make a 1-stop. Break earlier in the pits. I don't know. Let's hope it doesn't hinder you too much. And one thing I want to say actually about the F1 games is, when are they going to let us like double park our cars? The F1, in the F1 they do it all the time. In the real world. That's what I'm saying. Should be doable. But it's not. It's weird. It's dumb. Anyway, I still can't speak. Let's run you through some strategy then, as we go on to the formation lap. Red Flame Joe, only driver in the top 5 to start on the hard compound tyres. Finley, Short Marcus, Lewis AP, Kevin O'Reilly, all on the mediums. They're going to go aggressive in for the start of this race, and it looks overcast here. I don't know if any drivers are sitting in the chat right now, but if they could tell me what the weather's doing, that would be great. Ghost, AP, Jacko, Rick, all on the hards. Davila, the lone operator on the soft compound tyres, looking to go ultra aggressive in this race. Then Tier, Scotty and Skid all on the mediums, with MX on the hards. It's a high deck circuit here, Hungary. We saw that in Tier 1, the only race we've had here so far in APPF1 this season, that the softs lasted about 6 laps before they started falling off. The mediums are about 8 laps. 8 to 10 laps, really, depending on how aggressive you are with them. The hards, it's about 12 to 14, I'd have said, if I'm being honest. So it's a possible 2-stop with just the sheer amount of laps around this circuit. It is a high deck track, a short track, and one where the 2-stop actually might just work. Although, if the elements have anything to say about this race, there could be some rain on the cards as the drivers line up on the grid. Tier disqualified. He's misjudged his parking. Let's watch MX park. Is he a pro? Just trundling onto the grid. Nice. Perfect. From MX, the 3-time Tier 1 champion. Right on board with Lewis AP for the best view of the start. 5 red lights for Hungarian Grand Prix here in Elite season number 9, and we're underway and racing. It is Finley with a fantastic start as he goes straight ahead of Red Flame Joe into the lead of the race. What a great start from him. But here comes Short Marcus looking down the inside, tries to go down the inside of the Aston Martin of Red Flame, doesn't quite work. The 2 championship rivals are side by side down towards turn number 2. The Alpine looking to go all the way around the outside with the superior grip on those tyres, and he gives him plenty of room, his rival, and through they go. Rick is round at turn number 2 in the meantime, with a yellow flag being waved, but not bad. Davila up to P9 on the start there as well, using those soft tyres to great effect to gain himself a couple of places at the start of this race, ahead of Jackalacco and ahead of Scotty here. What a start. It's time to settle down now. Ghost under attack perhaps from the Mercedes of Kevin O'Reilly, who goes off the track there. That might be in the steward's room later. He overtook off the circuit, but Ghost is trying to get back at him. He's all over the back of that Mercedes, but no dice for Ghost as they come down the hill now. Meanwhile, Red Flame, he'll be annoyed about that. He put in all the hard work to be jumped, but he's on a different tyre compound. He's on a different strategy to these drivers around him. So he will be happy to sit there and bide his time. And all he's got to do is stay with them as AP's round at the final corner. Oh no! Oh, it's his second race back. Oh no, he's... Oh, okay, I thought he got beached. He would have been allowed to rectify that with a reset to track. But not the best start. He'll be hoping for a safety car as we go forwards. But Davila up to P7, really getting a good use out of those soft tyres nice and early on. Let's see if he can triumph in his charge through the grid. Eagerly awaiting to see what he can do. Meanwhile, that gap to Lewis AP and Red Flame Joe is incredibly wrong. The timing test should readjust itself on the next lap. We're a lap away from DRS activation. It's all quiet at the front right now. Nothing much happening. Scotty here. Is he shaping up a move on the Alfa Romeo? He looks for it. Oh! And MX breaks wildly late. Almost takes out Jackalacco. Loses 2 places because... Well, loses a place because it gives the place back to Jacko. But down the inside he goes. Oh dear. That was naughty from MX, I think. I think he just misjudged his braking out there, but Jacko might feel a bit aggrieved. Meanwhile, Finley and Short Marcus are jostling for the lead, and it looks like Marcus has got ahead of Finley. While I was watching MX go, he did. It looked like he did it on that run down towards turn number 1. And now we have a new leader. It's Short Marcus. And this is good for his campaign as Finley's off the circuit now. Loses it through turn number 3. Oh no. Gives Red Flame Joe a bit of breathing room. But it's way down now. Finley, he won in Tier 1 and he's lost it here in Elite. And he's down in P6. Oh my, oh my. Elite certainly is a different class to the rest of the APPF1 tiers. MX in P10 trying to chase down Scotty. Jacko's lost another place. I wonder if he's got damage after MX dive bombed him in Sector 3. It's ideal actually if this is for Short Marcus, at least for the time being. Although Red Flame, he'll definitely have the pace in him to try and catch up. This is nowhere near over. We're only lap 4 in this race. Rick and Jackalacco, teammates in Tier 1, rivals here in Elite, chasing each other down for P12 and 13. Finley, he'll be kicking himself, but he's got to get his head down and get back in it. Rick has got past Jacko, it seems. Looks like he's gone round the outside of his Scottish teammate from Tier 1. Let's see, Kevin, first of many track penalties, I'm sure, for the drivers out there today. Finley chasing down Ghost. That medium and hard split between the two. I'm really wondering if it is going to rain, you know. I'm not sure. I'm really not sure. One driver who's certain it's not going to rain, it seems, is Davila on his soft tyres. Starting to fall off now a bit. He's not really catching up on Finley and Ghost. Just ahead of him. In a bit of a bad way there. Those tyres may already be. As Finley, a little bit of a slide through the exit of turn 13. That's going to compromise him all the way down this next straight now. He'd have lost a lot of speed. Or a lot of momentum at least. You'll have the DRS though. Closing at a rate of knots, but not enough to go for a pass. And he'll be sat there in P6 for a little bit longer. It's the closest battle on the track, this. There's also Rick and Jacko. The top three in a tussle as well. Davila's caught up now, perhaps. Maybe I was wrong about the soft compound tyres. Maybe they've not gone off yet. Perhaps just a little bit of scrappy driving from Davila, but he sorted it out on that last lap, it seems. So he'll be working at it, I'm sure. He's a good driver, Dave. I've had the pleasure of battling him many a time. One of the drivers who coined me the brick wall back in the day. I do remember that. Long ago were the days of the brick wall with Scotty here. Passes his teammate. Perhaps team orders between the two McLarens, although I believe they're both reserves. So maybe they're just racing. But either way. Let us see. Lewis AP. He'll be wanting to try and get ahead of the Aston Martin if he can. Let's ride along with him. Let's see what he's up to in that Williams as they come down the hill towards turn number 2. Not quite there to have a go. It's battle for P5 shaping up nicely. Ghost, Finley, Davila all here, making their way through turn 1. You can see the difference in grip for Dave right now, although those tyres will surely start feeling it very, very soon. Hello to the 6 people watching as well. If you don't know, I popped a little thing into the paddock, or the elite chat as it's also known. We do call it the paddock though, just because I think it sounds nice. So I need you to call 999 for me. I have a Lego blockage. Oh dear. Did you try shoving the entire McLaren up there? You're only supposed to shove up a couple pieces, Lawrence. Not the whole car. Don't try it with the new Lego Technic Mercedes, by the way, which has just come out. But anyway, I put in the elite chat that I've only done 100% race back on F1 2013. I bet you can't guess what track it is, and I'll reveal that at the end. At the end of the session. Somebody's round as Kevin O'Reilly. While we've been yabbering on about anything but the race, he's round at the final corner. It's not the first driver to do that, and there goes MX as well. Through Kevin O'Reilly down to 10th. He was running nicely in P4, but he's lost the place now. But anyway, we continue watching this fight. But anyway, yes, if you can guess which track I have done my only 100% racing, I don't know, you get a pat on the back. I don't know. Well, you brought up your bot. You've already done that, Lawrence. You've already done that. Just don't use me as a break at the Hungaroring on Tuesday, okay? I just want a nice clean race, and I want to finish. As MX, down the inside of tier he goes. Fairly simple pass. Not a conventional place for a move by any means. But still, the Alfa Romeo up to P8. He'll be chasing after Scotty next, 4 seconds up the road. Finley still chasing after Ghost, being chased by Davila. When will he come in? I'll do my best to stay out of your way. You better. I mean, if anything, I'll be doing my best to be at the front. But we'll see how that goes. Not a lot of moves being made. A lot of drivers sitting nice and closely to one another. Not a lot of progress. MX just keeping Tier at bay. Meanwhile, Jacko passes down the inside with DRS and gets himself into P12 ahead of his Tier 1 teammate, the Dutchman Rick. Let's see. Red Flame has caught up. I think those mediums are starting to struggle now. Although it looked like it was starting to brighten up, but it's still cloudy. It's still overcast here at the Hungaroring. Not shy of rain is this circuit. I'm trying to ride on board to see how the track seems as Red Flame Joe gets a little bit too excited on that curb there. just about losing the car, but keeps hold of it, losing a bit of time for his troubles. You're welcome to be in P2 if I have P1. Well, I don't know. I mean, yeah, you could be P1 if you want. That gives me more points in the Podium Predictions Championship. Not that I really need them now. We did record the latest episode of the APPF1 podcast. That'll be up tomorrow night at some stage. Tune in over on Spotify, APPF1 podcast, where we talked about the Bahrain Grand Prix and a few other bits and bobs going on during APPF1 and the real life Formula 1 circus, as it is so very often called. Meanwhile, not too much going on, just drivers sitting in nice little DRS trains. They're biding their time. Red Flame Joe, I said he's not out of this yet. Different strategies, of course. And those hards can go a relatively long way, if you're brave enough. And Red Flame, he's got the pace in that Aston Martin. He's staying with short markers. He's had an incredible season, has Red Flame Joe, to be up there. Lewis AP's doing a great job as well right now. From what I've heard from Ghost, there's been a lot of improvement for this man in the Williams, and he's been having a fantastic go of it. I've had the pleasure of seeing him in a few races in the comms box as Kevin O'Reilly getting close to Tier, a little further back, but not making a move. In fact, his rear end moving a little bit too much as he exits turn 12 and into turn 13, and it looks like Tier, no, he just ran wide. Hopefully he doesn't get himself a track limits warning for that one, but knowing Tier, he'll have about 5 by now. Well, he'll have at least 2 by now. Davila on the hunt. Kevin O'Reilly, hunt successful. Passes Tier in the McLaren. Gets himself up ahead. A double dosage of DRS helps him secure the place. And back up a place is Kevin O'Reilly. Still no change at the front. Finley's dropped away from Ghost, which is perhaps allowing Davila the chance to get himself in there. Let's see the penalty situation. 3 seconds for everybody with a penalty right now. Not a bad going of it. Finley's still sticking around though. Scotty here's getting involved in this, and I think it's time that Davila got off those softs. Put on a set of hards or a set of mediums perhaps. Running clear air, don't need to lose any more time or positions for just sticking it out on those softs. Is he going to come in? Is he gearing up? Oh no, but a big snap of oversteer on the exit's not going to help him in his efforts in this race. I think he might be trying to extend to a one-stop. It's hard at this track because the tyre wear is just so harsh at this Hungary circuit. It's hard to know what to do at times, honestly. Davila's going to go for it though, takes a look to the inside, backs out sensibly though, wasn't quite far enough alongside to justify a move, gets himself back down behind Finley in the Alfa Romeo, just trying to scare him, trying to see if he'll make a mistake. Meanwhile, the front three, all very close to one another. If there's going to be any changes of position soon, it might be between these three here. Something's brewing. Those hard tyres, they look a little bit better right now than the mediums, personally. They just look like they've got that little bit more grip as they come down the hill. Let's see, Red Flame Joe just has that tighter line. A bit of a wider run for Marcus. So they go through. A little bit wider this time for Red Flame Joe, but any position changes. Red Flame is closing in, but smartly kept away. Finley into the pits. Finally, Finley started on softs too. I swear it was showing him on mediums. Yeah, it was showing him on mediums the whole time, but he's on softs. Huh. Weird. That's really weird. Well, anyway, he's into the pits. Davila must be thinking about pitting soon as well. He's in a bit of danger now, as Jacko and Rick get past Finley, who's out of the pits just ahead of AP. Let's see, Scotty, he'll be chasing down Dave. Won't have many places to go for it. What else? Lewis AP, Red Flame Joe still just sitting behind Red Flame Joe. Kevin O'Reilly and MX side by side through turn number 5. Kevin in the Mercedes has the inside for the chicane. Gets the better of the German, but is MX coming back at him? He's looking to do it. Isn't able to do so on the exit. Kevin gets himself into P7. He'll come under threat now. Will MX from Tier, who's closing in, and Red Flame Joe's closing in on short Marcus in the meantime. Let's see if he's got enough in him this time. He's closing at a rate or not. It's finally time for a change of the lead. Perhaps side by side they go in towards turn number 1. Still side by side as they enter the corner, but no longer as they exit. Perhaps it's Red Flame Joe back into the lead of this race. Your second lead change in this race, I think. And it's Red Flame Joe back into the lead. No, Finley had the lead at one point as well, in fact. So we've had 3 different leaders now. Marcus led, Finley led, MX has tried to go back at Kevin O'Reilly, gone a bit too deep. And Kevin has defended the position from the German, the 3-time Tier 1 champion. Keeps the place. Davila still going on those soft tyres, and he's actually lost out to Scotty now. He's got to think about coming in soon. MX passed just before turn 4. That's some decent racing. Smart not to battle him too much as well from Kevin O'Reilly. He'll sit with MX. Looks like they're around similar pace. Yes, yeah, Dave, I think he's got to come in soon. He's got to come in soon. Finley's on the hards. He'll try to take those to the end. It seems to be brightening up a little bit. Riding on board with Ghost here. Short Marcus, is he in trouble? Is he in danger from Lewis AP? He might just be. Here he comes. Down the inside goes the Williams. They're side by side in towards the corner. Let's see how this goes once again. They're going to emerge side by side perhaps. Let's see as they come down the hill. They are still side by side. The Williams, both of them out in fact, with the DRS, and Short Marcus down the inside. Gets the better of the Williams. Holds on. Great defensive driving. Skid solo. Kevin O'Reilly into the pits as a yellow flag. Oh no, it's Dave. It's Davies round at turn 1. He's got it rolling once again. I said he needs to come in soon, and maybe that mistake is a product of tyres that are just past it at this point, and now he loses the place to MX, and he's lost so much time with that spin as well. Oh, Dave, a mistake from the Welshman. Can he recover? The sun's coming out now, so looks like my fears of rain have finally gone. I don't think we're going to see any of the wet stuff this evening. But that's fine. We race on still. Let's see. Davila under threat from Tier. Another veteran of APPF1, of course. Will he come in now? He's got to, surely. No. On he goes still. I think he's looking to go to mediums. I'm not sure it's worth it. Now that he's lost all that time. Let's see. Meanwhile, AP still on the hards. 13 laps. A well-timed safety car would do AP a world of good. That's all I'm saying. It's Jackalacco and Skid Row side by side. Through goes the Haas. Let's see. Is Rick going to follow him through as well? He is. They may not be teammates in this class, but they're working together wondrously to get their way past Skid Solo and up into P10 and 11. Rick and Jacko, they're probably in a party together. Probably with Ghost as well, I'd imagine. Those three are normally all together in a party. I don't really like being in party chats, to be honest, unless it's fairly quiet. I can be in a party chat with my teammate, Alex, if he's still here or not. Hello, hello. Make yourself known. But, as Finley got very close to the back of Davila there. Davila off the track. Finley straight through. Rick's out. He's out. He's crashed. Safety car. There it is. There's the safety car. AP would be thinking, couldn't you have crashed a few laps later, Rick? But there it is. Your safety car's come out and the leaders have passed it. Scotty into the pits. Here we go. Perfect for Davila. I think he was getting toward the end of his stint. Bad for Finley. I'd have stayed out Finley personally. But I don't know, maybe mediums will go to the end. Yeah, they'll go to the end. They'll feel rubbish, but they'll go to the end. And, oh, Finley as well. We're going to lose out to his teammate. Let's see. Yeah, Davila's gone through. Let's see where he is. Oh, not too much. Loses a place to Dave, but that's about it. Not too bad. Excuse me, all things considered. AP, he won't be... Yeah, he'll be fairly happy with the timing. At least he'll be back in the race. That's all we can say about that one. But, oh. It could be tight. No, I think the top four are safe. Yeah, I don't think anybody's losing a place in this safety car unless any of these three make a mistake. They'll all come in for sure. They've got to. I'll be surprised if they don't. Yeah, in comes Flame, in comes Marcus, in comes Lewis, and Ghost comes in as well. Not going to give us a surprise. In they come. Nobody gets a penalty for speeding. That's very nice. Short Marcus said he had a glitch with his pit limiter. Although that seems it might have fixed itself. There's Ghost onto the medium compound. And through, yeah, nobody under threat from losing places. It's a relatively short pit lane here at the Hungary, actually. So an undercut actually does do you a lot of world of good at the Hungary, especially if you're stuck in traffic. Especially. Right, catching up to the safety car. Our drivers now. There's Bernd Mylander in the red Mercedes there. Starting to make the rounds of the Hungary. Now, at the beginning of the stint, anyone on these hard tyres, they're going to struggle a bit. They're going to have a bit of a hard time. But they'll come back. It will come back to them. Remember what we said toward the beginning. The mediums really do start to fall off a bit. Around lap 12 or so. What, did we say lap 12? No, around lap 8. Actually, we found. Around 8 to 10. Depending on how good you are of your tyre wear. So this race could come back to Lewis and Marcus and perhaps Scotty. Or Tier or Skid Solo as well. So there won't be a lot of... There shouldn't be too many doubts just yet. But if those medium runners can make the most of it. Red Flame Joe, he'll have to open up a gap. Ghost, he'll have to try and jump one of these two podium sitters that he finds himself behind. Dave and MX will have to see if they can try and rob Scotty of his P5. AP, he'll have to try and see how far he can claw his way back up. Can he get into the top 10? Who knows? Everybody will score points, but Rick, once again, awful form from the Dutchman. It's awful crashing out of a race. It's terrible. You put in so much effort, then you put it in the wall. And then, bam, that's it. All that effort gone in the blink of an eye. Well, if you're in the chat, Rick, if you're watching the stream along, let me know what happened. We didn't see it. Come in and be a stats guy maybe if you want. I'm sure you'll have some interesting insights if you're in the chat at all, Rick. That's not to say the four of you watching right now have nothing to say, of course. Well, currently you do. Maybe we can change that. What do you know that I may not? One thing I do know is the safety car will be coming in this lap, as the last few cars have joined on. I'll wait for that green light to go. That green light, that yellow light to go, so that flashing orange light there on that Massive spoiler on that Mercedes. Lovely car, by the way. Lovely, lovely car. I do like a Mercedes. There it is. Say the Perp Mylander, off he goes. Red Flame Joe gifted the honour of restarting this race. He'll have until the moment the safety car reaches the pit lane and enters the pit lane to the line to get this race started once more. When will the Aston Martin go? Will he catch out Short Marcus? There he goes. He has caught Short Marcus napping quite a bit actually. And Red Flame Joe has gone. He's bolted off the line. And he's off down the straight. Got to make the most of those tyres if he can. Ghost on the attack of Lewis AP. He can't quite get close enough to the Williams just ahead of him. So he holds station for the time being as they make their way through turn number 1. Smart start restarting from Red Flame Joe. Any other position changes? No, it's all fairly tame on this restart here. Although Kevin O'Reilly all over the back of APPF1, who's in a bit of danger from the Mercedes. Looks to the inside of turn 4. He's going to go for it. Side by side they go. AP gives him the racing room. Great respect between the two. Kevin O'Reilly very, very brave to go for remove there. Fantastic racing. Short Marcus has already fallen off 1.1, 1.2 now. Here's the gap. Not a fan of this track. Short Marcus, he wishes it was Monaco, I think. But alas, no procession today, or at least not at Monaco. Finley ahead of Dave down the inside of turn 13. Passes the Red Bull, but he has that penalty to contend with. Let's see, Kevin O'Reilly on a charge up the grid. I think he feels he belongs further up than he is. And I'm inclined to believe him. Skid Solo, though, using that ERS to fend off the Mercedes. Doesn't stop him from sending it down the inside, though. Nor does it stop him getting that better exit. But maybe the momentum went the Aston Martin's way. Not quite. Skid Solo tried to go back down the inside, didn't work for him. Jacko and Tier side by side on the run up towards turn 4. Tier passes, no, Jacko passes Tier into P9. Gets ahead of the McLaren just before they reach turn 4. Goes still catching the gap to the leaders. It's 2 seconds right now. It may well come back to them though. Once the tyre degradation starts to reach that crossover point, we may even get another safety car if the race is so inclined to give us one, should I say. Fair few battles out on the track though. Good battle for P5 brewing here. DRS is now enabled. Drivers may go on the attack using the assist of the drag reduction system. An extra 16 kilometers per hour of speed given to the car, or is it miles per hour? I can't remember which one Crofty says all the time. As APPF1 down the inside, league founder ahead of Skid Solo. A swapper Alfa Romeo, they're side by side still. MX fending off Finley. MX a reserve driver. He'll be out here racing for his own fun and glory. Finley might feel a bit aggrieved that this reserve's getting in his way, but he's got every right to as long as he's racing nice and cleanly. There's a time penalty for Tier after long last. Meanwhile, Kevin O'Reilly down the inside of the McLaren gets the job done. That's the second pass we've seen there. First one from MX, second one from Kevin O'Reilly. Brave stuff in an unconventional place. Meanwhile, Finley on the attack, who is in turn MX on the attack of Scotty for this P5 position. Finley with the penalty though. It won't be great for him. Ghost in a very good spot for a podium, it must be said. A 3-second time penalty on the car ahead, and it's closing at a rate of knots on him. Down the inside he goes. Fairly simple stuff. Gets the car stopped. Will the Williams tuck in underneath and go for another move? He's trying it. Meanwhile, Finley and MX side by side again. Finley gets past. Ghost is ahead of the Williams. He gets himself onto the podium place. MX back ahead of Finley. These two scrapping. Absolutely no bars hold. Or holes barred, I should say. That's the one. In this fight between the two Alfa Romeos, Davila's thinking, keep on fighting, folks. I'll have that penalty. I'll take those places under penalties. It's all fine by me. Or even better, slow each other down so that I may pass. Kevin O'Reilly still charging an absolute flyer of a recovery drive. He's got Jack Alacco to contend with now. Looking a lot more set than the rival in the Haas car. Kevin O'Reilly, the Irishman, my stewarding partner for Tier 1. Up against the Scotsman, Jack Alacco, and here he goes, pulls along to the inside of turn number 1, gets the job done. Meanwhile, Scotty gets past Finley at turn 1, perhaps a mistake from Finley. Oh dear. Loses a place, AP making progress. Chasing after Tier on the hard compounder tyre. Not too much else going on. I say that though. Finley's on the attack again. He's trying to get back ahead of Scotty here. Not going to work through there. No way through that chicane. It really tightens up. Does that part of the racetrack. Oh, Scotty wide. It's going to invite Finley round the outside. Takes full advantage. A slight tap of the wheels, but nothing too detrimental to either driver. Scotty gets back behind Finley. Finley passes him once more. Invites Dave into the mix. Dave's got to be worried now, though. He's got Kevin O'Reilly on his tail. Kevin has been making steady progress through the field. He's got to contend with that time penalty, though. He's got to try and clear these cars and get 3 seconds ahead of them. But this is a big fight here for P5. I think MX and Finley's battles acting as a bit of a bottleneck as everybody else is closing in. AP passes Tier with the DRS. Will Tier try and go back down the inside? He will. In fact, they're side by side as they go down towards turn number 2. This is great stuff between them. Two veterans of APPF1. AP just sees off the McLaren, and Kevin O'Reilly, after his recovery drive has crashed. He's binned it at turn 4. He's out of the race, and we have a virtual safety car on lap 24. Not a full course caution. Will it come in will it have ended by the time the drivers get round to the pits? Will anyone risk a stop? This is helping the medium runners too. This is helping them increase their life on those tyres. I don't think it's sensible to stop. Somebody might try it though. If I was maybe Tier or Skid Solo, I might give it a go, but it could be too late by then as the green flag is waved and we're back under race conditions. Ghost, meanwhile, is chasing after the short markers as Finley jumps MX on the restart and gets ahead of him. Meanwhile, Ghost down the inside with the DRS. He closed in on Marcus. He's up into P2. This is a great run of racing for Ghost side by side again. The two Alfa Romeos are. Scotty must be absolutely grinding his teeth because these two just keep getting in the way of the McLaren, who's trying to make progress in this race. Side by side he goes now with Finley once more, battling hard, these three cars. It's great to watch out here on the racetrack. Scotty still cannot get past that wall of Alfa Romeo there. If it's not one, it's the other getting in his way. Davila's still hanging on to the three of them, battling as hard as they can up ahead. He's absolutely fine with it, I think. He'll just want to try and pick them off when he can. Patience is the name of the game for the Red Bull driver. Car number 87. Marcus really not got a lot of pace in those hards right now, but those mediums might start to fall off very soon, and then those hard runners might start reeling them back in. This isn't over yet. It's a very strategic race here at the Hungaroring. What will prevail? Let us see. As we go. The battle for P5 heating up. Down the inside goes Finley again on MX. Side by side they once again emerge. The two Alfa Romeos have been battling every lap for the last few laps. MX keeps Finley at bay, but when he tucked right underneath him, these two teammates in Tier 1 and currently leading the Tier 1 championship in the Constructors. But there's no love lost between them as teammates here in the Alfa Romeos as Finley looks to go all the way around the outside. Doesn't quite do it. It's hard going around the outside of turn 5. There's contact between the three drivers here. They're all so close together as they make their way through that chicane. But it's still MX getting his elbows out, being as defensive as he can. The German driver holding off the drivers behind him to great effect. Finley down the inside once more. Still they are as they were going into the corner. Through the final turn. Let's see. DRS will be activated. You can see MX. He's trying to break that toe immediately. Here comes Finley once again. MX plants it into the middle of the track. Finley tries the long way round, not going to work. MX gets a slightly better exit, but Finley had the momentum, so he's going to have the speed coming into the corner. Davila down the inside of Scotty. He goes deep though, and he's going to invite Giacolacco to go down the outside of him now. Let's see. Side by side, the two Alfa Romeos are, as are Davila and the Haas in the background, and they're all through nice and safely. Davila gets the better of Giacolacco. Couldn't get the better of Scotty here. Perhaps some impatience from the Welshman. If he can get ahead of the McLaren, then he can get the best and jump the two Alfa Romeos as one of them takes out a braking board. It's MX. He's off the circuit. Loses the place to Scotty in the meantime. The skid solo round in Sector 2. Bringing out the yellow flag. Scotty now on the attack of Finley. They've been fighting hard, these two Alfa Romeos. MX finally made a mistake as they've been fighting one another. And it's now Finley, the leader of this train, but he's come in. Does he have damage? Or is he putting on softs perhaps? Oh, and a penalty. Oh. Oh my word. Tier ahead, a time penalty. He does have damage. Oh my word, there are battles everywhere. This battle for P5 has been raging on and on. Finley finds himself out of it. Let's see, I was pushing hard. Not too mad, as my penalty would have dropped me out of the points. I was trying to get as far up as I could. It was great fun until I crashed. Obviously, Rally Elite Racing is the best in the league, in my opinion. There's battles everywhere. There are battles everywhere. It's fantastic. There's great battles all over APPF1. Every league's got their great battles, their great races, their great drivers. Many of them span across multiple leagues. AP Passo, steady recovery for AP, up into 9th. He'll be saying to Dave, how hard are they fighting amongst you, mate? Dave will be saying that it was pretty hard. They've calmed down a bit now. AP, he'll want to try and close in on this fight if he can. There are. Oh, MX is in. He's in. New tyres for MX. Interesting. Is it softs? Or the German? It may well be. No, mediums. And he's back out. I'm not surprised. He was fighting so hard with his teammate during that last stint. I'm not surprised at at that one at all. Red Flame Joe has been in a world of his own, by the way. The two Alfa Romeos back at the back. And look where they are. Behind Skid Solo, but more importantly, close to one another. Promotes Dave and AP up into 6 and 8. It wouldn't be a bad go of it if they can keep it. Let's take a look at the penalties as well. We're approaching lap 30. 3 seconds for Lewis, Jack and Tier. 6 for MX, 11 for Finley. As we go through, as MX gets past Skid Solo, through the chicane, Jackalacco. He'll be closing in on Dave. He'll be aware that AP is behind him within that 3-second window. It is imperative for the Red Bulls race that Dave hold up Jackalacco as much as he can, but here comes the Scotsman. Is Dave going to try the old up and under on Jackalacco? No, unable to. Jacko gets the place, but Dave will have plenty of chances to try and go again and get that position back. Finley and MX, they're at it again, battling with one another. No love lost between the two Tier 1 teammates at all. Really going hard in the racing. Meanwhile, Short Marcus is closing in on Ghost. I said these medium tyres would start to come back to the hard runners, and it looks like I was right. Short Marcus closing in on Ghost, holding his position right now. Will he have the run on him in towards turn number 1? I don't quite think so. Ghost has a decent amount more of ERS in that Ferrari than the Alpine of Short Marcus does. There's a yellow flag. Oh, it's MX. He's round. Oh, and he's beached it. He's beached the car. He can reset to track, and he does so. Oh, it's horrible when that happens. It's nothing you can do. Nothing you can do. Finley gets fastest lap. He'll be glad to be shot of MX, who's been nothing but a thorn in his side all race long. I'll be interested to see how Finley does. Does he catch back up in the next 5 laps? I'm not so sure. Not so sure the 2-stop was worth it, in all honesty. He's round now as well at turn 10. And the man who started in P2 all the way down to P11 and doesn't really have much more prospects than that position. He may even be P12 by the time penalties are all worked out. Not a great race for the man challenging in Tier 1. Here in Elite, he has spun round. Sort of calming down a little bit. There's your fight for P2 here between Ghost and Short Marcus. There's Dave and Jackalacco fighting for P6. Dave needs to try and get ahead if he can. But AP, I don't think quite has the pace to close that gap. But he'll be happy with P8, I think, as long as he can keep it on the road. That's probably what he's doing. It's our league founder, AP Paus. Just trying to keep it on the track. Not get any silly penalties. Although he's got Tier behind him, he's 5.5 down the road. He won't make any silly mistakes. Or if he does make a silly mistake, he's at least got that to fall back on. And the fact that Tier's got a bunch of time penalties under his name as well. But let's see. But like I say, a P6 and a P8 would not be a bad run for the two Red Bulls. Their return as a team, such a formidable partnership, I guess. They're effective at what they do. One of the best teammate pairings in APPF1 history, personally. What two fantastic drivers. I'm so glad to have them back where they belong, in the place where I'm sure they started a lot of their league racing adventures. Had some great battles with AP over my time in APPF1. As Finley passes Skid Solo, this fight might continue to go on all the way to the end here. Finley through. MX going to follow his teammate through as well. Well, they're not done. The two Alfa Romeos, not in the slightest are they finished with each other. They're going to go again. And we'll see. Yeah, look, there's MX. Gets through. Finley gets the up and under, though. Covers him off. MX going to go around the outside. Please, please, please don't end in tears, chaps. Not quite. They've given each other plenty of room to go racing. And they've been providing some great entertainment out there on the track as they've been going along. Yeah, they've got a whole bunch of penalties. And Skid Solo's going to really win big if he can stay within it. I think 6 seconds is the minimum. He needs to stay within as Short Marcus gets ahead of Ghost, but Ghost cuts under him as we go through. Short Marcus just went a bit too deep by the looks of things, by the way that Ghost was able to just snatch back under with that up and over. Or up and under, I should say. Keeping P2. He's got 1.5 more laps to hold on to that second spot on the podium. Davila, all he's got to do is stay within 3 seconds of Jackalacco with his 3-second time penalty. Tier MX and Tier and MX with 6. Finley with 11. MX just past Finley, but again he does the up and under on his teammate. Not so smart, this guy, as he falls with the same move twice, but then dives down the inside of his teammate through turn 2. And still they race on. Finley all over the back of MX, then side by side, oh my word, into turn 4. MX pushed off the track a little bit, but still able to race as they go through turn number 5. These two have been at it all race long. Red Flame Joe has started the final lap of this race, and the two Alfa Romeos, they're fighting over a wooden spoon essentially. Finley guaranteed to finish behind MX, so it doesn't really matter whether Finley finishes in front of him or not. He's guaranteed to finish behind. Let's see what's Davila up to in the Red Bull. Has the wily old Welshman got anything in him? Short Marcus has fallen well off of Ghost, and he's going to be resided to P number 3. But Davila unable to do anything with that Red Bull car as we come through. Only battle left on track now, Jackalacco and Davila, although MX and Finley have proven me wrong. They're still fighting each other. They're side by side once again through turns number 1 and 2. They're banging wheels now, desperate to stay ahead of the others. Still fighting they go. But Red Flame Joe hasn't looked back since the safety car restart, and is going to be your winner here in Hungary Elite. Ghost, a great drive for P2. Short Marcus, P3. Would have hoped for more in that race. Lewis, a decent run of form in the Williams. He's going to come home in P5. What a decent result. Scotty, P5 for him in his debut here in APPF1 Elite. Jackalacco will come home P6. He's going to give it to Davila on track though. Davila on return to APPF1. A P6 in Elite and a P8 for his teammate AP. Not a bad result for the Red Bulls. They're in fact the highest placed team pairing on the Elite grid, and that speaks volumes for how good they are as a team. Tier P9. Finley gets ahead of MX on track, but he's going to fall right behind him. They battled fiercely all race long. And, well, for that, all race long, but for that last stint at least. But wow. Great racing from Elite. A shame for Rick and Kevin O'Reilly. But as such is motorsport, I should say. Scotty here, driver of the day. Gosh, I feel like Ghost deserves driver of the day in all honesty today. He did a great job out there. Red Flame Joe, though, I think he kept a cool head, got himself on the top step where he belongs. Davila a good case for it as well. Davila and AP, a good recovery for them. Yeah, I think Davila driver of the day for me. On return, P6 in elite, not the easiest thing to do. He had a spin, recovered it beautifully up into P number 6 though. After a pretty poor qualifying, actually, I should say, from Davila. I know P10 in qualifying, but still. Up 4 places and on return to elite, a decent one. Davila's my driver of the day today. Red Flame Joe, then, your winner by 2.7 seconds from Ghost, who's had a very decent comeback here in Hungary to finish P2 on the podium. Short Marcus P3 rounding off that top 3 podium, with Lewis starting P4, finishing P4 with Scotty P5, Davila 6, Jackalacco in 7th. There's APPF 8th tier and MX rounding off the top 10 with Skid Solo 11th, Finley 12th with the fastest lap, and Kevin O'Reilly and Rick did not finish the race. Well. What a good run of form for elite. Finley, if you're in the chat, I'm replying to your message in the elite chat with my voice. I got tons of that fight between you and MX. Whole race was a joke. Whoever readied up is an idiot. I loaded in and I only had 20 seconds to do everything. Couldn't even pick the right tyres. Underfueled and spent the whole first half of the race saving fuel, only for the safety car to screw me over. Then you give me wing damage. Honestly, had enough of this evening. No hard feelings, just everything went against me, says Marcus in the chat. Mate, sometimes that happens. He said that in the elite chat, of course, I was just reading from. But a rum race for Marcus nonetheless. But that's it from me. One more thing to say. It was Canada, the only 100% race that I've done in Formula 1 way back on F1 2013. There you go, that was the one I raced on, if you know. Right, well, thank you all so very much for watching. I hope you have enjoyed, whether that was live or after the fact then as well. APPF1 Elite will be back at the same time. Me and MX were having a fight for... Yeah, you were. You two were scrapping like it was like a championship decider and you were equal on points or something. There's a lot of that in there, so have fun watching that back, Finley. But yes, APPF1 Elite will be back at the same time again next Sunday. Tune in on Tuesday on Ghost Stream for APPF1 Tier 2. Where a certain somebody will be on the grid, hoping that they finish the race rather than crashing out. But until then, I shall see you all very soon. I can probably confirm that I'm very likely here for Tier 1 for Silverstone, which is very exciting. And so look forward to that. But in the meantime, I've been Sumo. Thank you all so very, very much for watching, and I'll see you all again very, very soon. Good night.